Hello everyone, this is Umbra2614 and today I'm back on Nishtown server and I have with me on Skype Akabane 101.
Hello.
Damstroy.
Hello.
And Keeny8.
Hello.
As I mentioned in the previous video, Damstroy and Keeny8 were responsible for revision 3 and revision 5 of the sorting machine, so I have to thank them both for that. Very awesome work, guys. And what we're going to be doing today is going through Keeny's little system that I kind of semi-mentioned in the previous video, and if they would stop trolling each other, we'll get right along to that. Basically, I'm going to be letting Keeny describe it, because he's probably the best one to do it. Anyway, we'll get it over to Keeny.
Alright, thank you. Hello, YouTube. Well, first of all, I'll just show you kind of my house. Just come inside.
Nice little quaint house.
Passing all my auto-sorting, well, auto-processing systems. And the key point for everyone for this auto-crafting system is all these chests. And if you just look in all of them, you can kind of see all kind of random items, but they are sorted.
To an extent.
Yeah.
One thing I would actually probably like to mention is the fact that I didn't mention what the system was doing. So if you'd like to kind of explain it.
Okay, so basically, as we know for SMP, which is multiplayer, that there is no form of logistics pipes at this time. Basically, my system that I've got that I'll show you is set up quite substantially at the moment, and I'll show you how to set up one. Basically, we'll do what a logistics crafting pipe does. And obviously you've got provider pipes, which in this case we're using RedPower's ability to use the retriever to pull items, but I'll show you as we go along. But yeah, the key part was obviously all these chests are here, and we'll just head downstairs where you can actually see where everything's kind of sorted. So this is the input feed to the sorter, which is pretty full, and I need to consider upgrading. And obviously all the coloured pipes. Now, the thing that's different, apart from this big giant mess to the right, which is solar panel creation, is basically I've got over here some restriction pipes, which make this seem like a very far away way, which is what I take advantage in RedPower, just to try and make it look further and further away, so that all the items that come from here must be requested. And that then connects to a mag tube, which if you come in here you can see. And the mag tube basically will speed things along the system. Now this takes advantage of the whole system effectively being all connected to this mag pipe, and it goes everywhere. Yeah, but it's only a single system. There's no filters, there's no other items that basically individualize this individual pipe from everything else in the system. But basically the key point to get out of that was I've got a whole bunch of items, they're automatically sorted into that system, and from there we come down to the chaos once we pass through the tranquility of my peat bog and tree farm.
We always love controlled chaos.
And my crazy automation. And this is what I call the beast.
Your own version of Feed the Beast.
Yeah, not that. But yeah, basically, all these red pipes indicate that the current crafting has been completed. I guess we'll go through just this first one just to kind of walk through. So obviously, as you can see, I've got this mag tube, which comes from upstairs, which feeds into this accelerator and these couple of restrictors. This is just to make sure that this crafting system isn't the default route for any items that enter my system. But apart from that, all it is just making it seem further away. And then at that point, this mag tube is split off. Now, you don't need multiple accelerators. I just use it so it speeds up the process. But effectively, you could have them all come down the one pipe and go into here. Now, the restrictor pipe I've used just to make these seem separate from each other, so you don't need that in the system. But I put it there just in case. But effectively, this part has, the system has, I guess, a few parts to it. Actually, we'll go down the end here, and I'll show you this one down here just because you can actually see it.
Probably a good point.
Now, obviously we've got a block breaker and a deployer with pneumatic tubes in them. Now, the intent of this is obviously the retriever, which a lot of people may not know. By default, if there's a same item in another retriever connected to the same system, that item will fall into that retriever before it falls into the one that actually requested it. As a result, I've got this effective system at the end here, which will either deploy or break depending on if it needs to be crafting something. And basically that's controlled by this NOT gate here, which at the moment is set that it will break the pipe and it won't be connected to the network. Basically, if you look inside the retriever, this one has sticks. So it requests 4 sticks, which is for which will be put into the chest to craft a wooden gear. Later on, we'll show you how to create a redstone engine based on this and what I've previously got. And as we know from Buildcraft, a redstone engine will extract an item and auto-craft it from auto-crafting table. And then that feeds into what is my storage chest for this particular auto-crafting system. And attached to that is a retriever. Now, with the item on the right-hand side, it means that it will only emit a redstone signal when it has that many items in the adjacent inventory, which is what I take advantage of here. Now, obviously, at the moment, that item is full, and as a result, the line is red, indicating that this is off. What will happen is, well, basically, this uses a, NOR gate. So it can take this reset line that runs down the side here. But effectively, the NOR gate will take in the signal and it will, for any input, if it's high, then the output will be low. And if it's low, then the output will be high. When a high, actually, what I'll do is I'll give you a quick demonstration. Sorry, I'm probably a bit ranty here. But effectively, if I take 2 wooden gears out of here, that leaves there only 2 left. And as you can see, it's all of a sudden gone red. And it was probably a bit too quick for you, but what happened is this here is set to 1 and 1, so that it will actually count for the number of items within the retriever, and a timer that is connected to that, which will then reset that effective clocking system. So that makes it able to request from the system. And then we'll use the retriever to request, and as a result, try and craft the item. Now, as you can see over here, the tube is red, not red, and the sticks are just arriving for the second gear, actually. And as you can see, they pass through, then they'll enter the chest and then come out as the wooden gear, which will enter the retriever. And as you can see, it's now got 4 and it's turned off the red signal down the bottom. Now, in this case, it needed to craft 2, and this red reset, or this reset line, which has a timer set to 32 seconds in this case, at the end, will automatically set, effectively triggering it to request another wooden gear from the system, which in this case requested from, sorry, I'm jumping all around here. Effectively, all the way from down here, where I craft planks, which were then crafted into sticks, which were then, by the retriever down the end, requested through the auto-crafting system and delivered down here to be the item that we wanted. Now, obviously, you can see I've got quite a few modules here, but they're not actually need to be this way. But what I'll do is I'll go through how to actually set one up. So we'll start down here, right next to where the previous module was. Obviously, these can be placed right next to each other, but they can't be done with the standard chest, which is what I've actually forgotten. But yeah, I place them one apart just so that you can actually see what's going on and change things if you need to. So basically, I'll start by setting up effectively my covers. What was it? Is that right? Yeah, stone covers. You can use whatever you want, but I use stone just because I can. something common, fits in with the surroundings.
This module, what is it for?
This one I'll be setting up will be a redstone, redstone engine. So obviously this whole system that I've set up so far is designed so that it will actually craft effectively this crafting system by itself. So far I haven't got the RedPower logic in it, but I'm slowly getting there. Obviously, as you saw on the right hand side, I had a different system which I can probably show you quickly after we finish this. But basically, I've just set up a basic layout here. Now, if I find... Now I use jacketed wire so that I can transmit onto redstone tubes here. So first of all, it's effectively the system for disconnecting it from the system. So in this case, we take the redstone tubes, the non-redstone tubes, a deployer, which we stick on the end here, which I won't be able to put there. And we'll rotate that one so it's facing upwards. Place 2 pneumatic tubes in it. This is just so that when it does a re-request, it will actually have a tube to deploy. Otherwise it could get stuck without having a tube to deploy, and as a result miss that cycle and have to wait for the next one. Now what I'll do is I'll run all the red alloy wire. So we place one here to connect it to effectively the wall, so that when we place down our NOR gate, it will actually trigger. And then we run this one back here. Obviously it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense without everything else that goes with it. But that's the basic red alloy layout. From there, good thing I have my diamond handsaw.
Always handy.
Oh yeah, until it breaks.
Pretty much.
And so we just placed down some cover strips. Yep, cover strips here, which allow us to basically sit 2 pieces of red alloy wire. I dropped my handsaw. And we take our timer and our counter, which are used here. So timer, counter. This is used so that we can keep track of the amount of items we need to retrieve from the using the retriever. And then we set the timer, which will activate the deployer and the retriever, which I haven't placed yet. But effectively, that covers the setup. If I put down this NOT gate here, NOR gate, as you can see, it's set off the timer and yeah, breaks it. Obviously, you're not intending to rotate these until you've actually finished, but from there, we'll stick down our actual retriever. Lovely quantum armor zipping me around. So the retriever obviously needs power, and in our case, what I'll do is I'll set up the retriever with what we need. So for a redstone engine, we need 2 wooden gears, we need 3 pieces of wood, and come down here and I'll grab a piston from the system. Making a mess of that inventory. Alright, so we need a piston there. And one last thing, which is glass. Which, if you give me one moment.
You forgot something, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm doing a direwolf.
Pretty much.
And a piece of glass. So as we can see, there's 4 items in this particular crafting net. And I'll be back again. I need chests. I'm going well.
Slash back and slash home.
Oh yeah.
It
Saves you every time.
Yeah.
Now obviously you don't necessarily need the chest here, but I use it to separate things out. I'm going really well. So we've got a chest. Followed by a lovely crafting table. No, I'll guarantee I've forgotten something else in a sec. But alright, so we've got our chest, followed by our crafting table, which we can't place. Unfortunately, the biggest thing about this is they're not convenient to put in. Obviously, this one I've set up and I've dug the hole already. If you start assembling on the surface, it does make it a bit easier. And then dig it out afterwards as you're building. And jumping for joy. So we stick some, we need to stick, to prevent things going into the retriever, or in most cases, the retriever requesting the items within the retriever, you need a stone cover, or any other cover, sitting on the top there when it wants to place properly. And then from there you can run your standard pneumatic tubes off the chest. This is where creative is always fun.
Oh yes.
Alright. I'm going. Hopefully this is not too much editing for you later.
It's fine, it's fine. I'll probably even just leave it in.
Just me derping.
Pretty much.
Alright, so I add this tube here. Now in this case, because it's one of the ones at the starting of this module, I'll also put a cover here, if I can place it.
Falling again.
Now the intent of this is so that, if I don't place that wrong, I'm not having good luck here.
Not at all.
This one crafting table does not like me.
See,
Right.
this is what happens when you test. It works perfectly fine the first time you do it, but every time you try and replicate it, especially on camera, mind you, it always seems to screw up.
Yeah. Alright, so we add in that extra pneumatic tube there, and that will connect to our chest at the back. Now that's for potentially using this later on if you stick retrievers upstairs, which I might actually do here, just to show you what you can actually do. But I will be back in just a sec. I'm just going to grab some more stuff.
Fair enough. As I watch Akabane with his diamond drill and mining laser go absolutely crazy with this.
I'm hoping he's not destroying my room.
He might be.
So basically he's the commercial break, right?
Commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break, watching Akabane destroy stuff.
Yeah.
Will it break with a mining laser?
Use a mining laser down there. I can tell you, I will kill you.
I hope you don't mind at the end, after you built everything. I would like to go again through it, like the way I understood it.
Yeah, that's alright. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll stick the redstone engine down.
Oh. Alright.
So we'll stuck the redstone engine down, and in this case we'll use this lovely pneumatic tube as what we can use to actually put something there.
Pneumatic tube?
Well, place the pipe, because the redstone engine and the automatic crafting table don't agree with you. As I've learned on many occasions.
They are very defiant.
Yeah, they're very defined. So in this case, now we've got the redstone engine, we've got our chest, which will be where we store things in the end, and I need something else to place something on. Alright, so we'll use another NOR gate, and we'll just sit it here for now. And then placing our regulator on top, and in our case, at the moment, we do not have a redstone engine to add to the system. So what we'll do is we'll use the system to craft itself. Now, so looking at the retriever, we have 4 items. So in setting this up, we need to set the counter to 4. And then we set our timer. You can set it to what you want. I usually use about 1.5 seconds, especially on servers, just to ensure that there's not kind of any delays in the ticks. It also helps the server by obviously not pulsing all within the same cycle, allows other people to do other things. And all we've got to do is set up our auto crafting table, which is the fun part. And what we'll do is we'll use our previous part here where we had more gears, pull those out, and we'll stick those gears in here, and another piston. Sorry as I go all quiet grabbing pistons, and as you can see, as Akabane flies around, you can see everything's doing different things as well. That's because every time I grab something from the system, it's automatically trying to restock itself. So at this stage, I'll just see what the rest of the system's doing. As you can see, if you come over, I'm not sure where Akabane's. Yeah, watching the magic happen. So as you can see, I took a piston, and currently the system is automatically crafting another piston for me. Obviously within the chest, I set on the retriever the maximum amount that I want, or however many I want to keep in stock. And when the chest has that many amount, it will turn off the actual requesting. So if we come down here, so as you can see for the moment, we've got this pretty well all set up. Retriever has all our items. Obviously block breaker and deployer have two pneumatic tubes in that part of the system. All our NOR gates are set the right way, apart from the one down the end here. And obviously nothing in the chest, but we've got our redstone engine set up here. So what we'll do is, now I'll just quickly explain what this line is over here. Basically, each time the redstone engine is running, it will have one item transition across. At the moment I haven't really tested trying to put multiple items through. All I know is that the redstone engine will only pull them one at a time. So to prevent issues, what I do is I have them craft individually. So the timer runs at the moment every 32 seconds. Now using the NOR gate, basically if the retriever is off, like it is now, and this signal goes high, then it will transition this from high to low, or from low to high, which will set the counter going as we saw before. So what I'll do is I'll just rotate this through. Obviously when I rotate this, it will set these lines, so if there's anything on the system that is actually requesting anything, it will actually request them as well. But we'll just rotate it through, and boom. So what you can see is I didn't set my timer. But dropping the timer down, you'll now see that it's finished retrieving everything. And if we come up here, you will see all the items popping through, and that will slowly come from all the chests upstairs or items that are previously being crafted in the system. So for example, the glass will come from upstairs, the wood will come from the auto crafting system, the piston will come from the auto crafting system. And as you can see there, that's the cyclic loop that you get if you've got basically another, or it's trying to request an item that is currently still being crafted down the line. And that sometimes can be an issue, but most of the time is not. But effectively it will just keep on cycling the same items through until it gets the item it has requested that it didn't have before. So in this case we have 1, 2, 3. What are we missing? We're missing our wood, which would be because this previous one, which was using wooden gears, was required on the wood all the way up the end. As I quickly eat.
So we just saw a redstone engine go into the chest over here as well.
Ah, okay. So in this case, as we see, the redstone engine has propagated through. So what we'll do is we'll take the redstone engine out. As we know, the retriever will not turn off, or the regulator will not turn it off at the moment. So I'll just keep requesting redstone engines until I tell it not to, which is by placing this redstone engine in here and a redstone engine arriving in that chest. And as I haven't done yet, we'll just add this pneumatic tube here where Akabane's standing so that it connects. Oh, wrong tube. It doesn't matter if you use necessarily the redstone ones, but I just use normal piezo, as obviously they don't cost redstone, which seems to be very expensive, especially lately.
Especially on this server.
Yeah. After everything, what don't you have? Redstone.
Yeah, pretty much.
But basically, as you'll see here, it's currently still missing wood, so I'm saying it's probably requesting it from further up. But what
There
you'll
it is.
see is basically this line over here. Every time it pulses, will pulse that clock down there, which as a result will cause it to request another item. And as you can see, as soon as it receives it, it turns off the signal, which will turn off this, which will turn on the block breaker, which will break it and then return it to the deployer. And effectively, that's how the auto crafting system works. Now, obviously, I've done quite a lot of complex things, so a regulator is probably one of the craziest ones that I've done for RedPower, which is here, at this particular one. Now, what I'll do is I'll cause the system to go spastic and request a lot of different items by taking out a retriever. Now, to give you an idea, a retriever requires buffers, which are crafted next to it. It also requires item detector, which is crafted here. And item detector requires pressure plates, which at the moment I don't auto craft, but there's certain things that I don't, but there's other things that I do. But basically we'll put it through its paces and we'll take out one of these retrievers, and basically I'll let Umbra cruise over top and check it all out, and you can see all these items going all these different places and different parts of the system requesting from chests upstairs, which pop down through the pipes, or if they're requesting from items in the system, they'll go to the nearest accelerator and then accelerate to where they're needed.
I like to watch the redstone tubes go off, because I know those are the ones that actually request stuff.
Yeah. And the biggest thing about it is it's, I guess, teaching you something that you wouldn't probably know normally about retrievers. And it also, like, obviously, hint to Ilaram if she's watching, block breaker deployer would be brilliant.
Everything in one block.
Yeah, everything in one block, even if it had to be using bundled cables. And also a retriever that had a bundled cabled input would be fantastic as well. But they're just some of those things that I would love to see. Yeah, let's see, what do we got? Yeah, looks like the fun part I've got is I stole all the pneumatic tubes from the system. I will be right back. Well, yeah.
So, are we going to another commercial break with Akabane?
You can, but I'd say the tubes are about to come down. But basically, I've just gone upstairs and I've just placed tubes within the chest. And in a moment, you should see them rock up down here if they haven't already.
It's just got some wood through there.
Yeah, which would have come from up the end there.
And there's a pressure plate and some tubes, some brass.
Yep. There we go. And that will create our lovely item detector. And as it proceeds along, you'll see the tubes go from being non-red to red. And every time it pulses, basically the items will cycle back into the machine in which they came from. And obviously, when you have the case where something is interdependent on the other, the items that one further down the line will arrive in the first one, which then once that one completes will feed onto the next one, which will feed onto the next one, onto the next one. And that's kind of why I break it up into modules as well. That also has its own quirks. But as you can see, the item detector one had just finished. So certain items that were required for, I think it's the buffer that's here. Yeah. Which needs iron bars, which I'd say I'm out of again. I'm going well. I've been spending so much stuff on the server that I'm running out of base resources.
Tends to get that way.
Yes, especially with redstone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, similar sort of thing. I'll stick some iron bars in there and you should see them rock up downstairs very shortly.
I kind of like this, like we have a saying in my language, need teaches you. So basically you don't have logistic pipes, okay, just make a system like this.
Yeah. It may look overcomplicated, but it's so much fun. And what I might actually do is, as we can see, things are still crafting here. I think it should be requesting the bars from upstairs. There they are. And then I'd say this one's requesting buffers. It's got its buffers. It's requesting.
The maktubs were a sound investment.
Oh yeah. I must say, congrats to Elaram, because this is a fantastic project that I've been doing, and it's fantastic to be on Nishtown server and have this much fun with you guys. I just certainly enjoy being able to show you guys what's going on and show you the chaos that I get up to.
It's definitely very cool.
But certainly I like to, I guess, over-engineer, but also design for, I guess, simplicity later on. It's quite complicated now, but in the future I'd love to do what I'm going to do very shortly and show you what I can basically do with this. So at the moment still crafting buffers by the looks of it.
It would be nice if MC Edit could copy these things, damn it.
Yes, it would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it looks like we're finally getting down to the last regulator. So finally it finished crafting the buffers. So now the wood can propagate from that one onto the actual regulator. And here it comes. And finally it's done. So what I'll do is, just to show you kind of the power of what it can do, I'll take a retriever, which will send my system spastic again, and we'll go upstairs. Well, actually, just before we do, I'll quickly show you over here. Obviously, RedPower has a number of different complex items. This is a basic little system which is very similar to what I had over there, apart from it uses a blue electric alloy furnace, and it will automatically craft basically alloys, my red dope wafers, which can supply the rest of the system. Same with brass and all that as well. And the only one that I had trouble with was attempting to get Buildcraft to work with the diamond saw. I lost 3 of them being tuned up by it. So I came up with the alternative, a lovely project table, which basically will allow me to shift right click and create another 48 wafers, and as a result it will set this off to request more. As you can see, it will just request the sand and the coal, which will then get processed in the blue electric furnace, which on the next cycle will be pulsed into the table, and when it has 3 of them, then it will stop. Anyway, we'll go back and do what I was initially going to show you. We'll go upstairs and we'll climb the ladder.
Damn it, Akabane.
So what I'll do is... That's right, I just need to work out where I've got some power. Here's some power. Alright, just quickly grab some wires. As it was, I wasn't initially planning to add this in today, but as it is, I will, just to give you guys a treat. So obviously here's my blue wire, and I shall stick, trying to work out the best spot to stick it. We will put it there. Hopefully that doesn't mess up with anything else. Actually, I need it the other way around. I am going well. Now, before I use this, what I'll do is retriever should be able to, in our case, if I stick a regulator in here, and rotate it. So that way it won't take anything from up there, or it won't interfere with the rest of my system I've got here. Let's have some fun and run this across here. And sorry to all those people watching at home going, come on. Alright, so now it has power. And what I'll do is I'll just craft myself a lovely lever. The simplest way of causing things to update. And basically, if I stick, I should be able to stick it right here. So I just pulse the system to retrieve a retriever. And if we give it a moment, I'm hoping it's coming. Here it is. Ta-da! Retriever! And obviously my system downstairs, regulator, sorry. Obviously my system downstairs is now recrafting that item from the system. But basically with a bunch of these you can now create an automatic way of retrieving your items from downstairs. And obviously I think, I haven't tried it as yet, but hooking up a regulator with a retriever, you could potentially set up an automatic system for filling up a chest with a certain item that would be crafted downstairs. And basically your retriever would retrieve the items from the chest downstairs. And thank you for watching.
Yeah, that was a really nifty system.
Thank you.
Can I?
I'm gonna steal it.
please?
Yeah, you can go for it.
And let the trolling begin.
What are they doing? Are you breaking everything? No.
I hope not. Considering.
Oh my god. What are you doing with that nuke? Quick!
No, I just want to make sure I understood everything perfectly and
Let's
make
before we do
basically,
this, we might as well sign off here. This has been Umbra2614 with Akabane 101, Keeny8 and Damsky all on Nishtown server. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.